Okay. So our name room, all our jurors here?
Yes, sir, Madam President.
Okay. All right. Just for housekeeping, I understand that we are going to go to at noon. Noon's a hard stop for us. And then, what I will probably do, councils, unless you have some strenuous objection to the contrary, is I will recess them until Monday morning, given the fact that I have other unrelated business. I have Veterans Court. It's my Friday to conduct that. So, much like I told them already, we'll just start back up Monday morning at 9 o'clock. Any issues? Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and summon our jurors, please. Yeah, you can bring Mr. Stevens in, please. Let's go ahead and summon our jurors, please. Yeah, you can bring Mr. Stevens in, please.
I can hear you.
All judges present come forward.
I think, sorry, ladies and gentlemen.
All right. Good morning. All right, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, good morning. All right, sound good this morning. That means high level of caffeine and sugar. Okay, all right, so we're going to go ahead and get started, and then we're going to go to about noon. That's going to be our hard stop, and then I'll give you some more instructions on what our plans are at that point in time, okay? All right, so Ms. Love, you can continue with the examination of Mr. Stevens. Mr. Stevens, let me remind you, you're still under oath from yesterday? You're still under oath from yesterday?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right.
Good morning, Mr. Stevens.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm kind of tired. I went straight to work from here yesterday, and then I got off at like 6, so I'm kind of tired.
All right. Well, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're safe. Now, you haven't had a chance to talk to anyone about your testimony and support instructions. Is that right?
Right. Correct.
And has anyone from our office reached out to you to do that?
No.
So do you remember when we stopped yesterday, we were talking about your ability to go from one place to another without getting permission to do so
Yes.
from the person you had to report to?
Yes.
Who did you have to report to? What was the name of that person? Do you remember?
No.
And do you remember how it was that you were supposed to report?
No.
Do you remember how often you were supposed to report?
No.
So when you said yesterday, when you talked about getting permission to travel out of state because you were on, what was it that you were on?
I was on an ankle monitor.
And that ankle monitor, was that the result? What was that the result of?
Are you asking me the reason I had ankle monitor on?
I'm asking you why did you have to wear an ankle monitor?
Because I had a case pending.
You had a case pending.
Yes, I was, yeah.
And that was in 2015.
Yes.
All right. So your pending case, what kind of case was that?
It was like a what kind of case was it? So I know my charge was material witness.
Okay. So did you have a criminal case pending at that time?
I was arrested. Yes, I was arrested. So
And did you have a criminal case pending at that time with anyone in this courtroom?
no, I don't recall. I don't remember.
Do you recall having a criminal case with Shannon Stillwell?
Yes.
When was that?
Around 2015.
So was that the pending case that you were wearing the ankle monitor for?
No.
Okay. There was a different one in 2015?
Yes.
All right. And when you got the pending case with Shannon Stillwell, did you and Shannon have in the car with you a stolen gun?
Yes.
And was that around July 15th of 2015?
Yes.
So the case with Shannon Stillwell with a stolen gun occurred after you all had gone to the compound when Little Wayne was present. Is that right? When was your birthday?
Yeah, April. Yes, that's right.
Now, when you say that you couldn't travel outside or you couldn't do certain things because of your ankle monitor, what type of things could you not do because of your ankle monitor?
I sustain the objection.
Where were you not allowed to go because of your ankle monitor?
So, I don't remember the exact conditions of my ankle monitor, but I do know that I can leave the state.
Did you ask to leave the state?
No.
Did you know whether with permission you could be given permission to leave the state?
So it was clear upon getting the house arrest monitor that I would not be. I just remember this part that I would not be permitted to travel until the case was over.
You called it just now a house arrest monitor. Would you explain what you meant by that?
So it's a monitor that monitors you.
Why did you call it a house arrest monitor? Were you under house arrest?
I don't know if I was up on a house arrest. No, I couldn't have been up on a house arrest.
Okay. And you say that why?
Because I don't recall no one telling me that I had to stay in the house.
Okay. And so when you said house arrest monitor a minute ago, you don't know why you said that?
No, it's just a term.
So yesterday when you were talking about the amount of money that you had to pay to get into the compound,
Yes.
where did you get that money from?
By it being my birthday, I was receiving gifts in forms of cash from family members, friends, loved ones.
And when you and your YSL friends were going to the compound, did you all communicate with one another?
When we was going to the compound,
Yes.
yes.
How did you all communicate with one another?
By mouth. Is that what you asked?
Were there members of YSL in the car with you?
Yes.
Who was in the car with you?
Shannon Jackson and I think D.
Tell me who she is. Tell the jury who she is.
You want me to tell his name? Like, I know D.
I do.
I know D.
Do you know his name?
I don't want to like get him mistaken or nothing. I'm
Tell
gonna
the
get
jury, to the best of your recollection, who he is.
his name is Demikian.
Demetrius Garlington?
Yes.
Was he also known as 30 Deep G?
Yes, I guess so.
I'm sorry?
Yes.
Now, did you know at the time who 30 Deep was?
Did I know who 30 Deep was?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I heard.
And who was 30 Deep, or what was 30 Deep?
It was a neighborhood and
That's hearsay.
No.
I'm an oral objection.
Thank you. You may answer.
a neighborhood in the Southside community.
30 Deep was a neighborhood?
It was, yes,
It was a neighborhood, okay. Was it also a gang?
I don't know. If they went by being a gang.
What neighborhood was 30 Deep?
Mechanicsville.
And is it your testimony that when you say a neighborhood, what are you talking about?
Area in Atlanta.
So 30 Deep was called, when you wanted to go a certain place, you would say, let's go to 30 Deep.
No.
So then, how is it a neighborhood? How are you calling it a neighborhood?
Objection, Your Honor. Foundation.
I'll sustain the objection. You may do lay a little more foundation. Okay.
If you call 30 Deep a neighborhood, do you mean that it's a place?
Yes.
So, based on that, if you wanted to go to the place where 30 Deep was, would you then say, let's go to 30 Deep?
I don't know how people say that they'll go. Me? I wouldn't say that.
Why not?
No, that's not like no. No, that's not a terminology I would use. I knew the area. Zone 3. I'd probably say, let's go to a different part of Zone 3.
So then, when you said that 30 Deep is a place, a neighborhood, and it's not something you ever refer to as that place, where are you getting from that it's a neighborhood or a place?
Because that's where they was known out of, the area.
They. Who is the they that you're referring to?
The 30 deep that you, the 30 deep.
So 30 Deep is a group of people.
Yeah.
It's a game?
I don't know.
Okay. But Demikion Darlington was 30 Deep.
Yes.
Was Demikion Darlington 30 Deep?
That was his Instagram handle. Yes.
How often would you say that you associated with Demikion Darlington?
Rarely. I'm sorry.
How often did you associate with Jeffrey Williams?
Often. A lot.
Did you also associate with Walter Murphy?
Often.
How often did you associate with Shannon Stillwell?
Often.
Now, when you were speaking about on the way to the compound, you talked with YSL members. What did you all talk about in the car?
I never said we had a car conversation.
What did you talk about on the way to the compound?
That we was gonna continue club hopping until all the clubs gone. Till all the clubs closed. It's my birthday, we celebrate.
What time did you all set out to celebrate?
There wasn't no initial celebration time. The whole day was a celebration.
Were you all at clubs the whole day?
Yes.
What clubs had you gone to before the compound?
Magic City.
And did you go directly to the compound from Magic City?
We went to a lot of different clubs. That was like 10 years ago. I can't recall the exact movements, but I know we went to a lot of different clubs.
Did you go to the studio? Any studio before the compound?
No.
Did you go to the studio after the compound?
I don't recall. I don't know. I think I was trying to get home to my girl after the club. I don't recall.
Did you talk with anyone in particular on the way to the compound?
I don't recall.
While you were in the car with Dee and Shannon, and incidentally, you said Shannon Jackson. Is Shannon Jackson in the courtroom today?
Yes.
Would you please tell the jury where he is?
In the far back with brown and the glasses on.
Is he seated next to a gentleman with white hair and a gentleman with no hair?
Yes.
Your Honor, if the record would reflect that the witness has identified Shannon Stillwell.
It shall.
Thank you. Okay. So how long were you in the car with Shannon and Dee on the way to the compound?
However long it took to get from one club to the next one.
Okay, so could you give the jury an estimate?
Roughly 20, 30 minutes, I don't know.
Whose car were you all in?
It was a rental car, my rental car.
A rental car?
Yeah,
Who's driving?
I was.
Who rented it?
I did.
Where'd you rent it from?
Not from an initial rental company. It was from like an owner of the vehicle.
Okay. And what kind of car was it?
It was a Mercedes Benz.
During the 20 or 30 minutes that you were in the car with Shannon and Dee on the way to the compound, what did you all talk about?
Objection, Your Honor. That's it.
I'll overrule the objection.
You may.
I don't recall too much talking. I ain't gonna lie, I was smoking weed and drinking liquor. It was my birthday, I was celebrating.
Was everybody in the car smoking weed and drinking liquor?
I was.
And you were the driver?
Yes.
So how did smoking weed and drinking liquor, how does that affect your ability to remember today what happened that night.
How did smoking weed and drinking liquor affect?
But the better question is, you said you were smoking weed and drinking liquor. Does that have any kind of significance in your testimony today while I'm asking you questions?
So, from my understanding, your initial question was, did you guys have conversations or were you talking to each other on the way? And my response was that basically I was vibing, listening to music, smoking weed, and drinking liquor. So I don't recall any like exact conversations.
Not exact. Do you recall any parts of what you all were talking about?
I don't recall.
So did the smoking weed and drinking liquor, is that what impaired your ability to recall today?
Objection, Your Honor. This is 8 years ago.
Your Honor, I object.
Member Code, no speaking, okay? What's the basis for relevance? What is it? Okay, all right. Okay, I'm gonna sustain the objection.
Your Honor, with the court's indulgence, I have a follow-up question that relates to that prior question that I was.
Let's get to it.
So if the smoking weed and drinking liquor kept you from remembering today certain things, how is it that you were able to recall the length of time that you were inside the compound yesterday?
I never said that smoking weed or drinking liquor had me forget what I was saying. I said I recall smoking weed, drinking liquor, and vibing out to the music. That's what was my answer.
So now my question is, did smoking weed and drinking liquor affect your ability to remember things from that night?
The length of years ago that this particular thing we're talking about is the reason.
I'm asking about the smoking weed and drinking liquor.
No.
So how is it that you remembered the 30 minutes you were in the compound?
Because very familiar with the Atlanta area. I grew up here, I'm born here, and I know how much time it takes to get from one place to another.
No. Yesterday I talked about how long you said you were inside the compound. Do you remember how long you told the jury you were inside the compound?
Yes.
And how long was that?
When I say about 30 to a half hour, yeah, something.
So how do you remember that you were inside the compound for about 30 minutes?
No, I'm gonna overrule, that was Mr. Steele. I'm overruling the objection, sir.
I remember that by being upset about the amount of money that I paid to get in and the length of time that I spent being in the party.
And you said you spent $500 to get in?
Sustained.
Do you remember how much money you told the jury that you spent to get in yesterday?
Yes.
I sustain the objection.
So was that all of your birthday money?
Relevant. Overruled.
I don't remember how much money I had on me.
Was that also because of the length of time that it's been?
Yes.
Do you consider $500 a lot of money or not a lot?
Overruled.
$500 is a lump sum of money.
That's a lot.
You can pay a bill with $500.
I agree, but do you consider it a lot of money?
Anything you can pay a bill with, that's a lot of money.
Okay. So, did you plan to spend that lot of money that night on the compound?
Overruled. Remember what I told you, one at a time.
I didn't make any plans. I just planned on enjoying myself for the night.
Did you know prior to going the cost of getting into the compound?
No,
Did you know prior to going how long the artist Lil Wayne was going to be at the compound?
no,
And when you got to the compound, did you ask whether or not Lil Wayne was still performing inside the compound?
I'm sorry, did you say that? Because I can't hear your name.
Yes, relevance.
Overruled, sir.
Thank you.
did I ask anyone? No,
Did you try to find out in any way whether he was still performing?
no,
So when you get up to the compound and you're in the car with Shannon and Dee, what do Shannon and Dee do when you go up to the door, the entryway to the compound?
I don't know.
Foundation,
Oh, I'll stay in the objection.
I don't recall.
Oh, hold on.
Oh, my bad.
Hold on. Let her pose another question to you, okay? All right.
Does Shannon and Dee go to the door of the compound with you?
I don't recall.
Is your inability to recall for any reason in particular?
The length of time it was ago, it was a long time ago. I don't remember everything step by step that happened that night, so no.
Do you remember how you got home? How did you get home?
I drove
What did you drive?
to Mercedes Benz.
Was there anyone in the car with you?
I don't remember step by step.
How do you remember who you came with but don't remember who you left with?
That was a long time ago.
Did you communicate with any other YSL members while you were at the compound? Not on the way, but while you were at the compound.
I recall telling I'm finna go in the club.
Did you communicate with any other YSL members any more than to say the words, I'm about to go into the club?
That's the only thing I recall.
Do you recall members of YSL saying anything to you without telling the jury what they said?
I don't recall.
Did you tell us yesterday whether Jimmy Winfrey was one of the YSL members that went with you to the compound as a group?
No,
And was Jimmy Winfrey one of the YSL members that went to the compound?
he was there, yes.
Do you remember what he was driving?
It was a long time ago.
Is that a yes or a no?
It was a long time. Oh, no.
I'm sorry?
No.
And Walter Murphy, the Walter Murphy that you spoke about associating with Ogden, was Walter Murphy one of the YSL members at the compound?
So it was a large group. I don't recall everyone who was with us from the length of time ago it was.
Understanding that you may not recall every single person, my only question right now is, do you recall whether Walter Murphy was one of the people, one of the YSL members at the compound?
No, I don't recall from the length of years ago it was.
So, do you recall what time you left?
I don't recall.
Do you recall exactly where you went after the compound?
I don't recall.
When you spoke yesterday about the thing that you were not involved with, and that you clarified it was Lil Wayne bust you, where were you when that happened?
I don't know the exact time that it happened, so I don't know where I was.
What do you know about it?
Other than what I heard and seen, nothing.
What did you see?
I seen on the internet the artist had his butt shot.
Did you join up with any other YSL members after you left the compound?
I don't recall.
Can you tell the jury how it is you recall that you all went to the compound as a group, but don't recall whether you all left together?
Overruled. Can I tell the jury one more time?
Can you tell the jury how it is you remember you all went to the compound as a group, YSL, but you can't recall whether you left or who you left with?
No, I cannot explain that to the jury.
And you tell the jury what you talked about, if anything at all, with YSL members after you left the compound?
No, I don't recall.
Did you call Jimmy Winfrey at the time Jimmy?
No.
What'd you call him?
Roscoe.
Is Roscoe the same person known as Pee Wee Roscoe?
Yes.
Did you ever wear any articles of clothing that said Free Roscoe?
I don't recall.
Did you ever see YSL members wearing shirts that says Free Roscoe?
If I'm not mistaken,
That's a yes or a no, please. And then you can explain.
oh. I was trying to answer the question. So I can't give you a yes or no because I think that I was in prison at the time.
At what time, sir?
I think I was in the prison at that time that he was locked up, if I'm not mistaken, or in jail.
So do you know when it is that you went to prison?
Yes,
When?
in 2015.
What part of 2015?
I don't remember the exact dates.
So, understanding that you believe you were in prison at the time Jimmy Winfrey was locked up, my question to you is a slightly different one. Do you recall seeing YSL members wearing merch or shirts with Free Roscoe on?
I don't recall.
Are you aware of the existence of YSL merch that says Free Roscoe?
I don't recall. That was a long time ago, man.
Do you know why or what it was that Roscoe was locked up for when that Free Roscoe merch came out?
Concerns facts, not in evidence.
I sustain the objection. You can refer it now.
Are you aware of the Free Roscoe merch?
Yeah, I knew that.
I'll sustain the objection.
When you spoke about Roscoe, when you said that you believe you were in prison at the time Roscoe was locked up, how do you know what time Roscoe was locked up?
I don't.
Then why do you believe you were in prison at the time Roscoe was locked up?
Because of the allegations happened in 2015, and that's when I went to prison in 2015.
I'm sorry, I don't know what allegations you're talking about, so could you please tell us?
So the initial incident
What initial incident?
that you're speaking about,
I'm just asking you about Roscoe and free Roscoe. So what are you talking about?
you asked no
No word.
to your question.
Since I just asked you what you were talking about, how is no the answer to that?
To your initial question,
Which question is that you're considering my initial question?
you asked me, did I know when Roscoe was locked up?
So once again, what incident is it that you're talking about when you made reference to the initial incident just now?
The incident surrounding the tour bus shooting.
What?
The incident surrounding the tour bus shooting?
Are you talking about the Lil Wayne bus shooting?
Yes.
What does that have to do with when Roscoe was locked up?
You asked me, did I know when I was locked up? Did I know when he was locked up? I think that was the question.
My only question is, what does the Lil Wayne bus shooting have to do with when Roscoe was locked up?
I don't know. I got from the question that you was initially talking about the incident, so I didn't understand.
So what I'm asking you is, why did you bring up the Lil Wayne bus shooting when I was asking you about Roscoe being locked up?
I'm gonna he's answered the questions the best that he can. Remember, what's your base for the objection, Mr. Ask and answer. Matthews, I'll sustain that objection.
Was Roscoe locked up for shooting up the Lil Wayne bus?
Yes.
Okay. And Roscoe is a member of YSL, is that right?
Yes.
All right. And is that the same Roscoe that went to the compound with you all as a group, with YSL as a group?
Yes.
And was the whole gang of YSL as big a Lil Wayne fan as you talked about yesterday?
Sure. I sustain the objection.
Yeah. Who all was it?
I sustain the objection already. All right, you need
I'm
to
asking a
rephrase
different
that.
question.
Okay.
Thank you. Would you tell the jury what members of YSL that went with you in this group to the compound were actual fans of Lil Wayne?
Speculation. How many times? Okay, look. One at a time, please.
Well, if you see somebody else to rise, you should rise when you make an objection anyway, so we can see you. Because Miss Weaver can't take down this, and she told you that yesterday. So if somebody else doesn't make an objection, and somebody else can rise and make a timely objection, but I have to acknowledge you for purposes of taking this down. Can't take down three people at once. So I'm not going to do that. So, Mr. Matthews, since you made the objection, I've ruled upon it. Do you have a separate objection, sir? Mr. Sharp?
I didn't hear rule, but it was speculation. I didn't hear this math.
Listen up, okay?
Okay.
All right. Okay, you may rephrase it.
Do you remember talking about being a fan of Lil Wayne yesterday?
Yes.
And do you remember telling the jury why it is that YSL went to the compound?
Yes.
What today is your memory of what you told the jury about why YSL went to the compound?
Your Honor, I'm going to object. Basis. It's a big question. YSL is not a person.
Overruled, sir.
Your Honor, may I have a objection?
Yes, you may.
403, Your Honor.
Overruled. Overruled, sir.
So, I never said anything about anyone being a fan. I said that was an inspiration to the start of the music career. I said he inspired the music career, and I said he was an idol.
Okay, before we get into everything you said, let me make sure I heard you right. Did you say you never said anyone was a fan?
I said that he inspired the music career.
Just now I'm talking about.
Yes.
You just say that you never said anybody was a fan.
I don't recall saying that.
Okay, to your knowledge, was any YSL member a fan of Lil Wayne at the time that you all went to the compound as a group on your birthday?
I don't know. Their likes and dislikes. I know mine.
And were you a fan?
Yes.
And so, was it you then who convinced YSL to go to the compound where Lil Wayne was performing?
So my initial thing of the whole night was celebrating my birthday, and it wasn't even a thing for everyone to say, hey, let's go here or something. That's what I wanted to do, and that's what I did. So being in communication of like, there was never, no one said, let's go here. That's what I want to do for my birthday, and that's what I did.
And did anyone, any YSL members have anything to say about your decision to go see Lil Wayne at the compound?
I didn't converse that with anyone. It was what I wanted to do, so I did what I wanted to do.
So how did you all manage to go as a group? If you didn't talk about it?
Maybe that was on some of their minds already to go to that club. I don't know.
I want to back up a little bit to something you said a moment ago that referenced what you testified about yesterday. Yesterday, do you recall telling the jury how you all came up with the name Young Slideline?
Yes.
And today, what is your memory of how you all came up with Young Slideline?
Your objection has been answered.
I'm overruled the objection, sir.
Today, what is your memory?
Today was my memory.
Your Honor, I object to whisper.
Yeah, I hear that as well, so stop it. If you're talking loud, I can hear you as well. Please don't do that.
So today, what is your memory of how you all came up with the name Young Slideline?
A passion for music. Coming up with a name for the music group.
And why did you all, as 3 founding members choose the word slide?
Because I often listen to Wayne music. We often listen to Wayne music.
Tell the jury, and this was this pre-2014
Was
that you all formed YSL?
Yesterday I answered that question with I don't recall the initial date, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm asking you today,
And I got the
do
same.
you remember the year?
I don't recall.
Do you remember telling the jury approximately when it was formed?
If I'm not mistaken, I said that I don't recall.
Do you remember me showing you Space Exhibit 10 Uniform Bravo? I can put it up on the screen. Can we get sharing capability, Mr. Cummings? And that is 10 Uniform Bravo. Would you go there? Do you remember seeing that exhibit yesterday and talking about it with the jury?
Yes.
And
Excuse me.
do you remember referencing the date of October 12th, 2014 while you were talking about it?
Yes.
Do you remember telling the jury that YSL was founded at least before that date?
I think I said I don't recall the initial date of it being started.
While I'm not asking you the exact date, are you able today to tell the jury whether YSL began before October the 12th, 2014?
No, I can't answer that. I don't.
While looking at an IG post,
So you asked me.
him and I, the founders of YSL, So Brilliant, photo by Thugger Thugger 1, posted on October 12th, 2014.
But I stated that I didn't recall.
Okay. So even looking at that, you don't remember whether YSL was formed.
Hold on. What's the basis?
Objection, Your Honor.
I sustain the objection.
Does looking at this refresh your memory, whether it was formed before that date or not?
No.
Are you able in any way to explain why you would be calling yourself Original Science Line _ Slug and be called a founder of YSL on a date October the 12th, 2014?
No, I can't explain it.
And are you now stating to the jury that you can't give them any time frame when YSL was formed?
Objection needed. Same objection.
Can you give the jury any time frame whatsoever?
No.
Would you explain how you're able to remember the inspiration for a name and not remember any time frame about when the inspiration came about?
No, I can't explain it.
Are you willing to offer?
No.
Do you recall, as part of your agreement with the state, and I believe, since they're here, I'm gonna pull it out.
get a copy of that?
Uniform, thank you, Judge. Do you recall me showing you 16 uniform yesterday?
Yes.
And do you recall as part of 16 uniform in section number 3, would you please tell the jury what section number 3 is called?
Special conditions of sentence.
And would you please read verbatim what section B, Bravo, of number 3 says?
Defendant shall testify truthfully about all matters relating to this case upon which he is questioned at any trial or judicial proceeding stemming from the facts alleged in this indictment.
And you understand that that is what you have obligated yourself to.
Judge, I'm in a meeting.
Do you
I suspend objections to form.
understand that that is what you've obligated yourself to do?
Yes.
Today, as you remember it today, did anyone make you sign this?
No.
And yesterday you said something about being pressured. Who was it that, did anyone at all? Did someone pressure you?
Cases. 403 RCC. Overruled, sir. Overruled, sir.
My words, if I'm not mistaken, they wasn't pressured. I think it was like persuaded.
Do you recall who it is that you're talking about when you say persuaded?
Yes.
And when you say persuaded, what is it that you're using that word in reference to?
Telling me what that person who is doing the persuading me that this is in my best interest.
And so, did you agree with the person that told you it was in your best interest?
It wasn't a did I agree or disagree matter, because I hired that person to tell me what's in my best interest. So I don't feel like it was a agree or disagree matter.
Did the court tell you anything about whose choice it was to enter into any kind of agreement like this?
Yes.
What was it that the court told you, as you remember today?
That is my choice. To make, yeah.
Did you understand what the court said?
Yes.
And what did you understand it being your choice to mean?
That it should come from me.
Did the court say anything to you about whether or not it could be your attorney's choice?
No.
Did the court make clear that it had to be your choice and not your attorney's choice?
Yes.
Did you understand that?
Yes.
So, did you agree with with what your attorney said about entering into this agreement being in your best interest?
Yes.
And did you have an opportunity to correct things that you saw were incorrect as part of this agreement?
Yes.
And did you make corrections when asked to agree or disagree with parts of this document?
Not these initial questions. So I was given 2 sets of questions. I received those questions on the 27th. And
Changes made to the initial sets of questions that you were given?
the first set of questions,
Yes, were changes made from the time you were given the initial set to the time you were given the final set?
yes, it was a complete change.
And were those changes reflective of conversations you had had with your attorney who then conversed with the state?
Hold on. Was my changes, one more time, I'm sorry.
Did the final document reflect changes that you discussed with your attorney who then conveyed that information to the state?
Yes, but without my permission, I didn't tell her to do that.
So the yes part is the yes part to my question about whether it reflected the changes that you talked about?
Yes,
Okay. So the final document is reflective of changes that you discussed with your attorney. Is that an accurate statement?
can you break down the question more for me?
When you first saw the set of questions given to you, and by questions, are you talking about any particular part of this document or the whole document? Y'all let me look at it. When you say the initial set of questions, which questions on that document are you talking about?
Is this the initial set of questions?
This is 16 uniform. And you said, as I recall, that 16 uniform isn't the set of questions that you initially saw.
Yes.
Okay. So on 16 uniform, would you please point out the area that has changes from what you initially saw?
So I said all the questions were different.
All of them?
Yes, from my understanding.
So the current charges, was that section different?
No.
So
So that's what you're asking. I understand what you're asking now.
okay. So we'll go over it. Was the negotiated sentence, was that section different?
I didn't even see a part.
That's Devin's rules since we're comparing 2 documents. I don't have that other document.
Yeah, he is referenced.
I think he's just referencing conversation, so I'm going to overrule your objection, Mr. Steele. Unless there is another document that was,
No, Your Honor,
okay,
this is something
then
that,
I'll overrule the objection, sir.
this, and to be clear, so that the record is clear, the witness has testified about something that I'm now asking him.
Objection to speaking.
I'll sustain the objection. Just go ahead and ask the question, madam.
So,
Was section 3, the special conditions, were those different?
so
Just, if you don't mind indulging me, were those different?
I didn't even see this. Me and my attorney went over the initial set of questions on via the call box in the jail. I didn't even see any of these papers. She was just reading and talking to me. I didn't see any papers.
Okay. Did she go over the factual acknowledgments with you?
No, it was just the questions.
What questions are you talking about?
They're not here.
So, is it your testimony that none of the factual acknowledgments, none of section 4, have you seen any of section 4 before you signed the paperwork, and not on this physical document, but any of it before you got into court and signed it?
Are you saying from these set of questions or the initial set of questions? I thought we were talking about the initial set of questions. Because
I'm asking you.
Basis.
She won't let him finish speaking.
I'm overruled the objection, madam.
I'm asking you whether it's your testimony that you have never seen on any medium or ever heard any of the questions or any of the statements under section 4, not necessarily on this piece of paper.
It's compound. It's a compound question. Why don't you just break
Have
it
you
down a
ever-
little slow, a little shorter.
Yes, Your Honor. Before you sign this document, had you ever seen or heard any of the questions in defendant's factual acknowledgments?
what is that?
Here, I'll let you look.
Oh, defendant factual knowledge. All right. So, up under defendant's factual acknowledgments.
I don't need you to read them, but.
I'm answering the
Tell me
question.
a-
I'm not reading, I'm answering the question.
Okay, just tell me a number. Tell me the number of the questions that you have never seen before you sign the document. Never seen or heard.
Tell you what, I'm confused. I'm sorry, I'm confused.
Can you just read to yourself did you read the document when you
Yes.
signed it?
Yes, so I hope that this can answer the question. I seen this paper, the 28th and the 29th. I hope that can answer your question. I seen this paper, this whole entirety of this paper. My first time seeing this whole entirety of this paper was the 28th and the 29th.
That paper, does it have a DA seal at the top?
Yeah, what's the seal? Like a heading or something?
Yes.
Yes.
And that document, is it dated?
Yes.
What's the date?
December 20th, 2022.
And the question that I'm asking you specifically is not about the physical piece of paper in front of you. It's about, and you have to tell me, do you understand the question I'm asking? It's about the questions and statements under defendant's factual acknowledgments, just the statements themselves. Do you understand what I'm asking you?
You finished with the question?
I'm asking you, are you able to tell the jury which of those statements, if any, you saw for the very first time, or you heard for the very first time, the day you signed that physical paper?
I seen.
Hold on, sir. Yes, Mr. Stewart, what's your objection? What's your objection?
To the form of the question, there's no boundary.
I sustain the question. You can rephrase, madam.
Was the day that you signed this paper the first time anyone ever talked with you about question or acknowledgement number 1?
So there, I signed the paper. No.
Was the day that you signed that paper the first time anyone had ever talked with you about acknowledgement number 2?
No.
Was the day that you signed that paper the first time, and let me be clear, read acknowledgement number 1 again.
Defendant Young Slime Light, aka YSL, is an organization made up of 3 or more members or associates who share common identifiers that include but are not limited to colors, hand symbol, terminology who have committed crimes intended to increase the notoriety, street credibility, and reputation of YSL.
All right, and what is number 2 again?
Defendant is one of the founding members of Young Slime.
And number 3 is the day you signed that paper, the first time anyone ever talked with you about acknowledgement number 3.
No.
What about acknowledgement number 5? Would you read acknowledgement number 5?
When asked by law enforcement about defendants YSL and Rock Crew Tattoo, defendants truthfully advised law enforcement that defendant is a member of a gang called Rock Crew, but that group is no longer going by that name and now goes by YSL, which originally stood for Young Slime Life.
Is the day that you signed this paper that you have in front of you the first time anyone had ever talked with you about statement number 5 that you just read?
No.
Go down to statement number 9. Would you read statement number 9 under defendant's factual acknowledgement?
Defendant is a person referred to as Tick in a song by Young Thug entitled Ill. In the verse, she getting robbed by Tick.
Is the day that you signed this paper the very first time anyone talked with you about statement number 9 under defendant's factual acknowledgement?
No.
Now, would you read statement number 10 under defendant's factual acknowledgement?
On February 4th, 2021, defendant participated in a group chat with fellow YSL founder Jeffrey Williams, aka Young Thug, and YSL associate One Elite, aka Slime Like Shawty, wherein Jeffrey Williams stated YSL rule the world, kid. Y'all just started bringing me the money. Man, y'all stop playing with me.
Was the day that you signed, are your initials next to statement number 10?
Yes.
Did anyone force you to put your initials there?
No.
Was the day that you put your initials there the very first time anyone talked with you about statement number 10?
No.
Now, who is Mooney Lee? How often, or did you associate with Mooney Lee? Let's start there.
Yes.
And going to statement number 11, are your initials next to statement number 11?
Yes.
Did anyone force you to put your initials there?
No.
Would you read for the jury statement number 11?
On May 13th, 2021, defendant participated in a group chat with fellow YSL founder Jeffrey Williams, aka Young Thug, and YSL associates Martinez Arnold, Miles Farley, Quintavious Greer, Antonio Sumner, and One Elite, wherein Jeffrey Williams asked y'all ain't beat him up or shot him yet, then states y'all getting soft.
Was the day that you signed Safety Exhibit 16 uniform the very first time anyone spoke with you about statement number 11?
No.
Let's look at statement number 12 under defendant's factual acknowledgments. Would you please read statement number 12?
The gas station at 151 Cleveland Avenue is a location where YSL associates sell drugs.
Okay. Are your initials next to statement number 12?
Yes.
Did anyone force you to put your initials there?
No.
Is the date that you signed state 16 uniform the very first time anyone spoke with you about statement number 12?
No.
Ms. Love, can we pause just a second? I think our jurors need to take a comfort break. So we're going to pick up at this point in time. So we're going to be in recess about maybe 5-10 minutes and we'll come back. Okay. All right. All rise for our jury. Mr. Stevens, you can step down and take your break. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Our jury's left us. We're just going to take 10 minutes and then we'll come back, and our hard stop today is at 12, okay?
Yes,
All right, we're in recess.
Sorry, I was muting. We are going to go to a press conference of the school shooting right now. Here we go. Let's see what's up. School shooting. Have they done the press conference yet?
Zapier's automation is the easiest way to efficiently grow your business. Get a lead from a campaign automatically.
Individuals that were injured and what may have led to the shooting and who potentially was targeted either indiscriminately or intentionally. Those are the questions that are outstanding here, as I know the community members are still also waiting. Again, we're talking about a community of about 7,000, 8,000 folks here. It's a very tight-knit community, and there are a lot of unanswered questions and exactly who the shooter is and what compelled them to take these actions today.
Ron, as our viewers who have been with us for a little while, we've been listening to the local affiliate there, WHO TV, and there was a lot of talk about how heavy the police presence was, how bad it was to try to even get into Perry traffic-wise,
right.
And also that this has been spread out in terms of the evacuations between an elementary, middle, as well as the high school where we believe this event took place. What are you seeing in terms, you mentioned that ambulance that passed, what are you seeing in terms of just police presence, just the sheer number of different types of vehicles that you're seeing?
I'll let our photographer Dan here show you the shots of the scene here. As you can see, everyone from the Public Works Department to the police force to the Cultural Community Department here. This is a tight lockdown area right now. Essentially every police force from these surrounding towns has come in. I've heard from the likes of Boone County, their police force has come in. This is a scene that is, over the last 2 hours, has been locked down. You can see the lights, and you can see that even as we were standing here, the family members that were waiting on the perimeter like us, of course, most of the kids there were communicating with their parents over cell phone here. But this was a moment in which folks are obviously still trying to understand exactly the extent of the injuries here, because when these calls came in just before 7:40 this morning, there was an immediate response. One woman told me that she had never seen police vehicles drive through the intersections like this at 70 miles per hour. Again, this is a relatively rural community, and to see the type of response, she said, was notable, and it was clear the danger that these students here at this high school and this middle school were in, just purely based off of the police response in getting to the scene so quickly.
All right, Vaughn Hilliard will ask you to stand by as we wait for this police news conference. Viewers at home may have figured out we are able to get resources to Perry very quickly because we have so many journalists in Des Moines right now bracing for the Iowa caucuses. We want to bring in NBC News national security analyst Frank Figluzzi with more on this. And Frank, we want to be clear right now. Police have released very little information, except we know there was an active shooter situation. We don't have any reportable information on the shooter or gunman. We don't have any reportable information on fatalities or any injuries right now. It's been about 2.5 hours since this shooting happened. What's been going on over the past 2.5 hours? What do you think we can...
No information yet? This is crazy.
Expect to learn here in the coming hours?
Yeah, first, very small community, so mutual aid would have been activated. Any officer in the area, I'm seeing just on your coverage, West Des Moines Police Department patrol cruisers, state police cruisers, everybody responding, reports of FBI and ATF there. It's all hands on deck to help a very small police department deal with this. Even the act of clearing a high school requires many, many resources. But if there's any positive here, because of the small community everybody knows everybody else. So getting to motive, getting to who did this should not be particularly difficult with this one. The role of the federal agencies, ATF particularly, would be to trace the weapon. Where did it come from? Was it legal or not? FBI's main interest, in addition to just providing resources.
We do want to listen into the news conference. Dallas County Sheriff Adam Infante is about to address the media and give us an update on this school shooting that took place in Perry, Iowa, about 2.5 hours ago.
My name is Sheriff Adam Infante, INFANTE. I'm the sheriff here in Dallas County. I'm joined by our state, local, and federal partners here at the Perry High School. This morning at approximately 7:37 a.m., we had a Sears radio activation at the high school, which indicated an active shooter situation. An officer first arrived within 7 minutes of that activation and located multiple gunshot victims. We're still unclear of exactly how many are injured or what the extent of those are, but we're working on that right now. There is no further danger to the public. The community is safe. We're just now working backwards, trying to figure out everything that happened and make notifications. There'll be another update later on today. It's still very early. This happened at approximately 7:37 this morning. School didn't start yet, luckily. So there was very few students and faculty in the building, which I think contributed to a good outcome in that sense. But we'll have more information later on this afternoon. We will not be releasing any more information in the meantime. So please be patient with us so that we can talk with these victims and their families and try and figure out what happened. We won't be answering any questions today either, or right now. We'll let you know later on this afternoon what time we'll be meeting back with you again, and we hope to provide more detail then.
So can we just to be clear, you don't have a number of people who were injured in this?
We're still working on that.
Have you identified the shooter?
Yes.
What's their current status? Are they alive? Or
We'll get to that later on this afternoon.
can you confirm if the shooter was a student of the school?
I can't confirm that right now.
Can you confirm any deaths?
No, not right now.
Reunification center for families and students right now?
Great point. The reunification center has already been established, and at most of those, I think all the kids have been reunified already. So we're good in that area. Thank you.
Were there any faculty members that were hurt?
I can't answer that question yet.
Have you made any apprehensions or arrests?
Can't answer that question yet either.
We'll take no further questions at this time. We'll see you this afternoon.
Sorry, just want to make sure.
I will let you know. We don't know.
Iowa Department of Public Safety will push out a message as far as location and time of the next press conference.
Okay.
So if you go to the Iowa Department of Public Safety website, it'll be posted there probably
Shortly after noon.
Shortly after noon.
Available?
I'm sorry.
Any surveillance video available?
There's nothing more that we're going to be able
thank
to
you.
answer right now.
We'll
Thank
be
you.
back.
That don't sound good.
You've been listening to a news conference out of Perry, Iowa, from the Dallas County Sheriff in the wake of a school shooting that took place about 2.5 hours ago in that community, about half hour, 40 minutes outside of Des Moines. You heard from the sheriff there, Adam Infante, giving out very little information at this point, confirming that the first call came in around 7:37 a.m. local time, not giving any information about whether there have been any deaths, whether there have been any arrests, any information on a possible gunman.
That being said, our NBC News sources, who are, of course, as you've seen on our broadcast here on the ground, as well as speaking with multiple different agencies, we are now able to report that they believe that the shooter is dead from an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. He may have been a student, and 3 others injured, including 2 students as well as an administrator.
Let's bring in NBC's Vaughn Hilliard, who...
That's horrible. Okay, that's it. Let's go back to the trial. Let's see. Nothing yet? Well, that is a bummer. Let's see here. Something is wrong with this. Hold on, I gotta fix my screen. Sorry. All right, here we go. Here we go. That looks good. All right. Who wants to bet that they're going to come back and they're going to be done for the day? Anybody? That's what's up. Yep. This trial is going to be going on forever and ever and ever. Oh.
present counsel.
Thank you, Sergeant Ingram. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. All right, Ms. Love, before you go ahead and get started, 12 is a hard stop, so just go ahead and govern your questioning accordingly, and we'll stop at noon, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, madam.
Good morning again, Mr. Stevens.
Good morning.
On your break from court recess, did you take Stacy Exhibit 16 uniform with you?
Yes.
Is it why?
It was just stacked up on my papers. It was intentionally.
Did you read over it while you
No.
got over it? And did anyone from the state attempt to talk with you?
No.
And did you speak with anyone else?
No.
All right, then I'm going to give you 16 uniforms, okay? And if you would turn to page 4 of 5. So we were talking about number 12 under defendant's factual acknowledgments. Did anyone force you to put your initials next to number 12?
No.
And was the date that you signed State's Exhibit 16 uniform the first time anyone had ever spoken with you about the statement made in number 12 under defendant's factual acknowledgement?
No.
Okay, let's go to number 13. Would you please read for the jury State's 16 uniform at number 13 under defendant's factual acknowledgement?
The gas station at 221 Cleveland Avenue is a location where YSL associates sell drugs.
Are your initials next to number 13?
Yes.
Did anyone force you to put your initials next to them?
No.
And was the date that you signed State's Exhibit 16 uniform the very first time that anyone had ever spoken with you about the statement in number 13?
No.
The factual acknowledgments that you made. If I can grab 16 uniforms. By putting your initials next to each sentence, what was it that you were meaning to convey to anybody reading this document?
That I agreed to it.
That you agreed to it?
Yes.
Did you mean to convey as well that you agreed with it?
Yes.
And did you mean to convey that it was a true sentence?
Yeah.
I stand the objection. I sustain the objection.
By putting your initials next to each sentence, were you or was that any kind of acknowledgement that that sentence was in fact true?
Yes.
And is there any statement in defendant's factual acknowledgments that you put your initial next to that you are now saying was not true?
No.
And so, did you have an opportunity to speak with your lawyer about these statements before you got into court and signed the document that is stated 16 uniform?
Yes.
And did you have an opportunity to tell your lawyer or even the state about any corrections that needed to be made?
Yes.
And did you instruct your lawyer or the state, either one, to make any corrections to defendant's factual acknowledgments?
No.
Did you believe or did you understand that the ability to do that, did you think that it had any kind of consequences? Like, did you?
Objection, Your Honor, ambiguous.
Total. No.
So when you were talking about something that had changed, it was different. Do you see on 16 uniforms, whatever it is that you're saying was changed or was different from when you spoke with your lawyer prior to coming into court and signing this document?
I see something that was changed or different. That was my first time seeing the initial document with my eyes and physically.
When you say the initial document, what are you referring to?
That document.
Physically.
Yeah, yes.
And what, for you here testifying today, what significance does that fact have on your signature on this document?
I didn't make any, I wasn't making none of it. I just answered the question.
I didn't hear you.
I was just answering the question. I wasn't saying any significance to it.
Was there any reason that you said that when you signed this document, it was the first time you saw this document? Any reason for the jury?
It was with the question that you asked me. It went with the question that you asked me.
Okay. So was the question that I was asking at the time dealing with persuading you or anyone persuading you to sign this document?
I'm talking about the question you just asked me before the last question. That's the question that me saying that went with.
And just for clarity, for the purpose of the record, what question is that?
Remember that fast because due to me being tired, but at the time, that's how I was trying to answer the question. If you can repeat it, I can repeat my answer.
Are you going to simply answer the remaining questions truthfully?
Yes. That's all I've been being truthfully.
Objection, Your Honor, argumentative.
Oh, sir.
So, statement number 9. Defendant is the person referred to as Tick in the song by Young Thug entitled You, in the verse She Getting Robbed by Tick. When or what label was that song released on?
I'm not sure.
Now, when you said that you are one of the founders of YSL, would you please tell the jury the name of each founder of YSL as you understand that word to me?
I answered that yesterday.
Would you please answer it for the jury as you know it today?
Jeffrey Williams, myself, Trontaria Stevens, and Walter Murphy.
And what is it that you were founding when you named yourselves YSL?
At the time, it was a possible
It was what now?
At the time, it was a possible record label because at the time, they didn't even know the music was gonna reach the heights that the music reached.
Who is they? When you say at the time, they didn't know.
I didn't say they.
Okay, I didn't.
I said at the time, man. Yeah, I said at the time, we didn't know the heights that the music was gonna reach.
Okay. So it was a record label at the time you formed.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It ain't you, it's me. I'm tired. I'm sorry.
You need, you know.
No, I'm good. I can maintain.
Now,
I can manage. Not maintain.
when you founded this record label, do you remember where you were when you all came up with it?
What's I don't recall.
And when you founded Young Slime Life along with Jeffrey Williams, is that what you call Mr. Williams? Jeffrey Williams?
That's his name.
I understand. What do you call
Call him my brother.
What else?
Bruh.
What else?
Old. I don't know. I don't feel like I call him Young Thug. That's for like people don't know him. I call him bruh, my brother. That's how I refer to him. Bruh, my brother.
Ever call him Slime?
I call him bruh, my brother.
Have you ever called him Slime?
I probably have.
And when you called him Slime, what was that intended to mean?
It was basically short for what his record label stood for. What is, yeah, that's my answer.
If you were one of the founding members, why did you just refer to the record label as his record label?
Because on paper, it's his record label. The groundwork is his. That's something he built.
So on the date that State's Exhibit 10 Uniform Bravo, that Instagram post referring to you as one of the original founders,
Yes.
was anything built that day?
I don't understand your question.
You said just now, and I asked you, why did you refer to the label as his record label? Do you acknowledge still today that you're one of the founders of Young Slime Life?
Yes.
And if you're one of the founders of Young Slime Life, what does that mean if it doesn't mean it's yours too?
I don't know.
Did you all incorporate the name in 2013 or 2014? Did you start in 2013? Did you incorporate the name Young Slime Life as a record label?
I didn't. I don't know. So.
Did you go around referring to yourselves as Young Slime Life?
Yes.
And why is it that you aren't able to tell the jury anything about what happened to a record label? Do you even know if a record label was ever incorporated entitled Young Slime Life?
You just asked me two questions at the same time. Which one you want me to answer?
the one that says, do you know if a record label was ever incorporated entitled Young Slime Life?
I don't know.
Are you able to explain to the jury why you wouldn't know something like that if it was your intention to form a record label when you created or founded Young Slime Life?
No, I'm not able to. I can't explain how business idea transpired. No, I'm not able to.
What were your contributions to Young Slime Life as a founder?
I didn't contribute anything. That maybe why the reason why I'm not an owner of it or anything. Yeah, I didn't contribute anything.
When you say you didn't contribute anything, what is it that you're referring to not contributing anything to?
The question that you asked me.
What did you not contribute anything to?
The question that you asked me.
Was it the record label belonging to Jeffrey Williams that you did not contribute anything to?
Yes.
Is it fair to say that the record label that was incorporated is different than the gang that was started when you all created Young Slime Life?
Objection, meeting.
I sustain the objection. You can rephrase.
Would you explain to the jury the difference or the distinction between Jeffrey Williams' record label and the gang Young Slime Life?
Positivity and negativity. Positivity and negativity. The label that Jeffrey Williams created was based on positivity, and the game was negative.
And did the gang precede, did you all form it before Jeffrey Williams started his record label?
Myself is a music label, so music happened first. That was the approach, music.
Mr. Stevens, do you remember your testimony about 15 seconds ago?
Can you rephrase the question? I answered the best of my ability.
Which question do you want me to repeat?
What you asking me?
It's an improper question, Your Honor. Ask the district attorney, just ask questions, not ask the question.
I don't need your help, Mr. Steele, okay? All right. I don't need your help. You need to give me a basis for the objection, okay? That's all I need from you.
Improper way to ask the witness a question.
Improper foundation?
Foundation form.
Okay. I'll sustain as the form of the question. You can rephrase, madam.
Your Honor, the witness asked a question.
Madam,
Clearly.
same thing, okay? Look, just rephrase the question, okay?
Yes, sir. All right. What is it that you need me to ask again, Mr. Stevens?
You just said a whole lot. So whatever you feel like that you didn't get my answer to, I feel like I answered your question to the best of my ability. So if you...
Mr. Stevens, do you understand counsel's question?
No, sir.
All right, why don't you just rephrase the question, madam? Back up 2 questions.
Yes, sir. Mr. Stevens. Do you recall me asking you what your contributions to Young Slime Life were?
Yes.
And do you recall referring to his record label?
Yes.
Do you recall my asking you why you referred to his record label?
I thought that was the direction your question was going in.
Do you recall me asking you why you referred to his record label?
Yes, you just asked me that.
And so, do you recall responding that the record label is something that Jeffrey Williams built?
Yes.
And do you recall me asking you the distinction between Young Slime Life, the game, and the record label Jeffrey Williams built?
Yes.
And do you recall answering for the jury that the record label was positivity and that the game was negative?
Yes.
And is Young Slime Life, the game, the entity, the thing that you were one of the founding members of?
No, I was founding of the music.
You were a founding member of the.
So I committed crimes while being a part of YSL. So
YSL what? Young Slime Life?
Yes.
The game?
Just YSL.
I'm asking you about Young Slime Life, the game.
I'm trying to answer the question.
Okay. I'm asking you about Young Slime Life, the game.
So I committed crimes while being a part of YSL. So by me committing crimes by being a part of YSL, that was basis to say that YSL was a game. Because
wait a minute, I'm sorry.
Your Honor, I think he's finished already. So were you done with your answer?
And it was non-responsive.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
So this is yes or no?
So
Sir, please sit down. Please sit down. Thank you.
Yes.
Just please sit down, okay? I don't need any help from you, okay? All right. And there's no objection on the floor. So, all right.
My objection, Your Honor, to that last series is that the court, I would ask the court to allow the witness.
He's finished the statement. There's nothing else. It's like if he asks to continue his statement, then fine. But sit down and stop interrupting, Mr. Matthews. Mr. Stevens, are you finished with your last response, or did you finish? Was there anything else you were going to say?
But I lost my train of thoughts, Your Honor. But I mean, she can continue.
No. If you weren't finished, we'll let you finish that statement if you wish to. But you have to.
I don't wish to.
All right. When you trail off, what happens is that the examiner thinks that you're done. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And that's causing a little bit of confusion because the folks out here think you want to say more things. So if you have more things to say, just go ahead and just continue to talk. Okay.
Yes, sir. I'm trying to my best.
And complete your answer.
Yes, sir.
Fair enough?
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
Okay. All right.
Mr. Stevens, what colors are associated with Young Slime Life? The game.
All colors?
Mr. Stevens, would you do me a favor and tell me, have you ever heard the word snitch?
Yes.
And what does the word snitching mean to you?
excuse me, Miss Lowe. Madam in the black, get rid of your gum. Remove yourself from my courtroom and get rid of your gum. In the earrings, you, yes, you, get rid of your gum. I apologize, Miss Lowe. Continue.
You may answer, Mr. Stevens. What does snitching mean to you?
It doesn't mean anything to me, but I'm aware of the term that you, yes, I'm aware.
What is the meaning of the term? What's the definition?
It doesn't mean anything to me, but I'm aware of the term.
How are you aware of the term?
I've heard the term.
How do you understand the term to be?
I'm not aware of the term to be used. Yeah, indicating that a person is a law enforcement or something. Indicating that a person is law enforcement or some nature.
So are you able to use snitching in a sentence?
Yes.
Please use it the way you understand it to be properly used in a sentence.
I heard someone is a snitch.
And please explain how, in that sentence, snitch refers to law enforcement.
I can't.
Why did you use it that way?
I mean, I've seen movies, and that's the direction that the movie was going in. Maybe even used the term. Maybe even got it from like movies. Yeah.
And the way you understand the term, is it a good thing or a bad thing to be known as a snitch?
I really don't fully understand the term.
Ms. Love, this might be a stopping point at this point in time, okay?
Yes, sir.
Given it's pretty close to noon, all right? But thank you. All right. Mr. Murphy, I'm sorry. I'm Mr. Stevens. We're going to stop the examination for today. I'm going to ask you to come back, not tomorrow, but Monday morning at 9 o'clock. In case you need to be here by about 8:45, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. And don't discuss your testimony with anybody except the attorney's independency, okay? And I'll just remind you you're under oath at this point in time, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you, sir. I'm going to excuse you at this point, okay? All right. Thank you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, we are going to recess for today, as I indicated before, because we have some other ancillary business that needs to be taken up. And then I told you I'd tell you about tomorrow. Given the court schedule and some other obligations, we're going to just recess you till Monday, okay? Unless you all really want to come back. Hearing no objection, I think that motion will carry, and we will go ahead and have you come back on Monday, and that will be Monday, January the 8th. Now, for next week, I'm going to tell you that we're going to work the 8th or the 11th. On the 12th, that'll be next Friday, have another matter that does not concern anybody here in this courtroom. I'm going to take that up on the 12th. So you'll basically get next Friday, the 12th, as an administrative day. Consistent with my earlier indications to you, remember that January the 15th is the official observance of the King holiday. So we will not be here, and we will not be here through that Friday the 19th, and then we'll pick up on a regular schedule starting on the 22nd of January. That's Monday. All right, so, but for the short term, come back on Monday. We'll work till Thursday. We should have regular days on those days. And then that Friday, the next Friday, you will be down while we take up some other matters, all right? All right. Ladies and gentlemen, do you have any ministerial inquiry of me this one time?
Monday meet 8:30.
Say again?
Does Monday meet 8:30?
Yes, if you could arrive by 8:30 and we'll get started as close to 9 or as you well know at this point in time, given I gotta account for a lot of folks and take up a lot of things. So yes, you are correct. So you just arrive here 8:30ish and you can have your first of many, I'm sure, cups of coffee and get started, okay? All right. So remember, since we're not going to be here till Monday, let's go through a couple of the ad nauseum admonitions. Remember, leave your notepads in the basket from today, and we'll give them back to you on Monday. If take one of your stickers and place it in your pocket, your wallet, or your purse, or whatever it is that you're carrying with you, so you can have that for Monday. Remember that as you leave here from us, you're not to discuss anything that you have heard thus far in groups of ones and twos, collectively, or any other places. And remember, you're not to do any research, not going by any scenes or depicted or maybe discussed, and you're not to let any persons discuss anything in your presence or hearing about this case. Remember, I told you that because of the interest, there may be people that may be tempted to reach out to you. There may be people that may want to discuss the matter in your presence and hearing. Of course, you know that would not be permissible, and that if anybody tries to approach you, contact you, or otherwise, that you would need to let Sergeant Ingram and myself know immediately. Okay? All right. But ladies and gentlemen, we thank you on behalf of everyone here for adhering to those admonitions. And we appreciate your patience and attention that you're continuing to give to this particular matter, and we'll continue to give to it. So, ladies and gentlemen, unless you have any other ministerial inquiry of me, I'm going to recess you formally until Monday morning at 8:30. We'll get started somewhere between 9 and 9:30 on Monday, okay? All right, unless you have anything else. All right, we're in recess. All rise. Go to train you, do right? Okay, please be seated, ladies and gentlemen. Our jury has left us. All right, is there anything I need to take up with you all? Independency, any witness issues, any other things that I need to be made aware of at this point in time? We are, like I said, tomorrow will be an administrative day, and we'll pick up on Monday, January the 8th for 9 o'clock. We all need to be here as close, so we can get started at 9 o'clock, okay? Anyone?
You must be at 8:30. 8:30. 8 o'clock.
I'll tell you like I tell everybody else, whatever time you need to get here. I know that there are courthouse challenges of getting into the building, whatever else. Let's just start as close. I'd like to start between 9 and 9:30. So if you all would be here ready to go about, as close to 9 o'clock as you can, we would be greatly appreciative.
Yes.
Okay. Anybody else have any other inquiry with me? Mr. Steele, I'm still holding your 6 motions that you filed, so you'll need to let me know before before they become ripe for me to hear them.
Absolutely.
Okay, all right. Unless there's anything else, folks, before you leave, if you would please bring up your listening devices. But if not, unless there's any other inquiry with me, I'll see you all on Monday, the 8th of January, okay? All right, we're in recess.
This is the strangest thing I've ever covered. I have never seen a witness like him. Is he acting stupid? Is he afraid? Or is this just him? Anyways, of course you can. You don't got to ask me. You know that. You're my bro. Okay, I'm going to get going because I've been live majority of the morning, but I do want to come back later. I'm going to wait to hear about the court hearing. Hopefully they're having it today. I haven't seen nothing, but I keep looking. And thank you for everybody who watched.